Hi, this is Lori Rayfeld, and today I am with Larry Costa. This is going to be an amazing interview, I have to say. Larry Costa, he channels his spirit guide, Wallace. Now, this is going to be kind of complicated. You're going to say, what's Lori talking about? Spirit guide. But the spirit guide is not of this realm. We could say he's dead, but that would be too direct. Um, but Wallace has been helping him with his latest book, revealing his psychic journey, Larry's psychic journey, as a testament to the incredible potential that lies within each of us to harness our innate gifts and connect with the unseen realms. What sets Larry apart is his unwavering dedication to honing his abilities, guided by the wisdom and word for word dictated teachings of his trusted spirit guide, Wallace. Together, they have embarked on a transformative journey, propelling Larry from a novice psychic to one of the most skilled psychics today. And I'm really excited to have him on. And we have a little story that goes before all this happened, is that he and I, Larry and I, and Larry's friend Mark Wentz, were trying to piece together information about Kevin Banks, who I was actually stationed at RAF Bentwaters with back in 1978 to 1980. And I had put, let me see, Kevin had unintentionally died. And I think he was trying to go into another realm, and he went further than he thought he would. At least that's the way I have the story.
Okay, yeah. Well, as you introduced me, I'm a psychic medium, and basically I was writing a book, and I didn't know that I was writing a book at the time, but I was being taught by a spirit guide named Wallace, who was putting me through a lot of tests and trials and teachings that I didn't know that I was being taught. And one of the lessons I was being taught was how to recognize spirits and how to take spirit photography and things of that nature. So they introduced me to Kevin Banks, which is a spirit. I know him as a spirit. I never knew him as a living person. And when they introduced me to Kevin, I would hear his voice through a recorded message. I used to record the atmosphere in my home and listen to it. And through my psychic abilities, I could hear spirits talking to me through the messages that other people could not hear, through the different frequencies. And I heard Kevin many times speak to me. And then one day he told me to take some photos around the house that he'll show me what he looks like. So I did. And one day in one of the photos, in a reflection, not really a reflection, but in a sliding glass door I have a sliding glass door in the inside of my house. So it doesn't go outside. It separates a solarium from a dining room. And it wasn't my reflection because I was on an angle on the other side of the wall. And there was no one else in the house. And sure enough, there was an image of a face. It was blurry. So I put it through an artificial intelligence program that outlines images to make them clear and crisp. And sure enough, it was a face, a human face of a man. And when I went back to a recording, I heard Kevin say, "I made that for you." And then later on, it was confirmed through Wallace, the spirit guide, that the photo was made because of the way that the glass is made and the frequency of the spirit and the frequencies of the digital camera made the perfect recipe to capture an image of a spirit in the glass, the frequency of the glass, because glass has frequency.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you can't just go around and take pictures of glass and expect to capture a picture of a ghost. They have to do it. They have to make it happen, you know. So he made it happen. And that was a lesson for me. So the book, it's called Whispers from Wallace. It's being published right now as we speak. It'll be on the shelves very soon. And that's with UNX Publishing, UN-X Publishing. And basically, after the photo was put through this thing, I mean, it was crisp detail. And we have that picture in the book because this book outlines my journey with Wallace, who was my teacher at the time. He was my mentor. He was teaching me how to be a top psychic medium. Very advanced with the things that I can do, even things that I did not know existed. Okay. I had no interest in being a psychic medium. This is just something that happened. You know, it's just there. It's just, I don't burn incense. I don't meditate. It's just part of me. It's what I am at this point. And this picture of Kevin was so detailed. And then what else the spirits do, and Wallace, they help direct us because they're a guide, a spirit, and a guide. They guide us. Okay. So he guided me to a video on YouTube through another person that sent me a link and said, this guy takes pictures like you do of spirits. And he sent me a link. A friend, Mark Wentz in Kansas, sent me this link, but he didn't get a chance to watch the video yet. And so I was watching it, just skipping through. And I skipped through and I heard the man say, I have a friend named Kevin who is a spirit now who shows up in a photo. And I said, wait a minute. I have a spirit named Kevin that showed up in a photo. So I was like, could that possibly be the same thing? Wow. So I told my friend in Kansas, who then got in touch with the guy in the video, and they compared photos. And he said, yeah, that's Kevin Banks in the photo.
That's amazing.
And then he got in touch with you.
Yeah, what I found interesting is when Mark got in touch with me, he had said that, and he said, well, you don't think I'm crazy or anything. And of course I did not, because I'm, going through my own journey. And he said, well, I don't know how to put it, but Larry's been talking to these spirits, and the spirits said that when they saw your name on the obituary for Kevin, that they said something like, she's the space woman, or the talk to her because she knows, or she's connected. And all of a sudden I started thinking, I was like, wow, the spiritual world is really watching me, It was very, very fascinating. I mean, how we're so directly linked, and it was very telling.
And Kevin, while he was alive, was into things paranormal.
Yes.
So I think it's very fitting, because also Wallace told me that Kevin enjoys doing this kind of teachings and trainings with psychic mediums, because that's what he enjoyed in his living life.
Yeah.
So he's really having a ball. He's loving it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. With the taking inanimate objects that Kevin would take and saying, knowing that there was a spirit within them, whether it was a toy, a teddy bear, or a rock, or something. And that to me was really interesting. I was talking with Derek Savory, who Kevin had a relationship with, long distance with, and they would, I think Kevin actually gave Derek one of his objects. I think it was a rock or something. And so now I kind of look at those little dolls differently, as you know. Yeah. Are they talking to me? I mean, it's funny. You think of Raggedy Ann. Okay, I had Raggedy Ann on my bed for a long time. It's like, okay, she probably knew more of what was going on than I did.
Yeah, that's true. Spirits go into things and they learn from us that way. But I'll tell you what I've learned about Kevin at the time was that there was some sort of animal spirit that he used to communicate with when he was alive. And he's works with that animal spirit now in the afterlife. Does that make sense to you?
I'm not really sure. I mean, how would he be communicating, with an animal spirit? I mean, is it the animal spirit's talks to
It was
him?
an animal spirit that he used to talk about all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and like it was like his animal spirit. Like he would talk about it like so and so all the time. I
Okay.
can't remember the name of this animal spirit, but he does work with that animal spirit now all the time in
Mm-hmm.
the afterlife,
Yeah.
which is
Well, when
something
I
that I learned about him while he was, after I found out who he was, and
Mhm.
um, and then we found another friend of his who lives in Florida who actually confirmed it about this animal spirit. So I think that was pretty cool how all the facts came together, and I had this
Yeah.
photo of him that
Oh
like,
yeah.
yeah.
It's I always call it synchronicity in action.
Yeah,
It's like, or an awakening. It's sort of
right.
like we go on with our daily lives, and then all of a sudden, in my case, it was Mark reaching out to me from out of left field, and I was very interested, and I enjoyed talking to him, and then he introduced me to you, and I enjoyed talking with you, and you know, and your life
Right.
to me has always been never a dull moment. It's kind of like, and you're not going to believe what Larry's doing now. Who he's
Well, you're not
talking
going to
to.
believe what I'm doing, what I have been doing, which is really, sometimes I can't believe it myself.
Yeah. I think you're on a mission.
I
You
believe I am. I believe
hmm
I am. And there's some really, really interesting things coming up for me psychically that I can't speak about yet
hmm That's
until
okay.
I get more of it accomplished.
Yeah.
But what I can talk about are these other two books that I just finished.
Wow.
If, if you'd like to learn about those.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so the first book, as you know, is called Whispers from Wallace.
Okay.
And that book is about the journey that Wallace took me on to let
hmm
me understand that I am a psychic medium. And it lets me understand the things that I could do as a psychic medium. Okay.
hmm
Which is communicate telepathically with a spirit guide, which
Okay.
is how a psychic medium gets their information. I never knew that. I
No,
never
I
knew how
didn't
they got.
either.
I didn't know that. But yeah, it's like
Mm.
it's a sound of tinnitus, and
hmm
then their words are embedded in the tinnitus, and you could hear it. It's
Oh,
it's
interesting.
it's really a difficult way to explain it, but that's how it works. And they
Wow.
communicate through other means of well, I don't want to spoil it for anyone. If they want to find out, they can read the book
Oh,
because it's
absolutely.
very interesting. But what happened was Wallace took a back seat, my spirit guide, because now who came to the forefront is an angel who doesn't have a name yet. They have not
hmm
revealed the name, but this angel refers to himself as a guardian angel.
Okay.
And with this guardian angel, I've written two books, two novels
Wow.
that are over 60,000 words each, which are novels. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
and I did this within a month's time, and they are fabulous. They're
Wow.
they're masterpieces, and I did it by channeling. And what the books are, it's a journey, and they're adventures. They're fiction,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not really fiction in my life because they're sort of about me and my journey
Mm-hmm.
and other things that I've learned since Whispers from Wallace, but it's disguised as fiction because no one's going to believe it
Mm-hmm.
because it's so fantastical. So we're putting the
Well,
label of fiction on it.
okay. Well, I'm definitely going to read it for sure.
Oh, it's amazing. I'll give you some highlights. Ghost friendships from other dimensions, multidimensional beings, time travel.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine? He
No.
explains to me, yeah, they explain to me what UFOs are. Like there's certain types of UFOs, but in our future, humans' future, we
Mm-hmm.
have our own UFOs. And he describes how they work. And I put all that in the book. And I
Wow.
saw them with my eyes because he taught me how to see the future because time travel isn't what we think. And portals into other dimensions are not
Mm-hmm.
what we think. As humans, we think of a portal as one thing, a doorway. You
Right.
walk into it. That's
Mm-hmm.
not what a portal is. They're not like a doorway at all.
Hmm.
And the book outlines all that. So we had to put the label of fiction on it because people are going to say this guy belongs in a nut house. They're gonna, if I said this was
Yeah.
real, so I had to put fiction on it,
Mm-hmm.
but it is real.
Well, you know what? I think people are hungry, really, really hungry to get different perspectives because
Mm-hmm.
it seems that we are so focused on, like you mentioned, a Stargate, being looking a certain way, and to know that there are different ways of being and your perspective and your different angles that you're looking at is really refreshing. I mean, it's what most of us are hungry to hear about.
Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
And I channel the guardian angel in my mind, and she's talking to me now.
How
If
how
you give me,
tall how tall is she?
I'll ask. Hold on.
She's probably about 7 feet tall, I bet.
I have no height. I'm complete energy.
Uh-huh.
I'm not a physical
Hmm.
body.
Yeah. Well, I know that. I'm just thinking that usually if they want to put a vision
I'm
into our
not an
mind.
angel, and I'm not like an angel in the Bible. I'm more like a cloud.
Oh,
This
nice.
is what she's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's not really a she, it's more like a it,
Are they?
a they. Yeah,
Yeah.
a they.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. But she
Mhm.
feels more feminine in a way, or loving.
More loving,
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
loving. Yeah. I wouldn't say masculine or feminine,
Mhm.
but I would say more loving, caring, and
Mhm.
nurturing.
Okay.
But I did meet a multi-dimensional being, and that is absolutely positive that it's a man.
Wow. Now, this multi-dimensional being, is this somebody that's gone in and out of different,
In and out
um,
of different dimensions.
mhm.
And what's interesting,
Is it sort of like time travel when you're going in and out of different dimensions, or?
from what I understand, yes, because the way that you go through a dimension is with your consciousness, not your
Mhm.
physical body. Okay.
Okay.
So your consciousness can leave and go,
Hmm.
it can separate and go because there's four parts to your body. Now, this is what I'm understanding. You have your physical body, your spirit,
Hmm.
your soul, and then
Hmm.
you have your true self. So there's four parts of you
Wow.
that make us, right?
Oh, interesting.
I never
Is,
knew that.
is this in your book?
Yeah.
Good.
Mhm.
I really want to know more about this
Yeah.
because
And it just, and it goes on and on. There's so much information that I never knew about. I never cared to know about. But
Mhm.
once they tell me something, I'm like, how interesting. And then I want to know more, you know?
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I was wondering when you were young, like a young child, um, did you kind of think that at one point, maybe when you were about 4 years old, that you were here on Earth for a reason and a purpose, kind of like you were on a mission and you knew you had things to do and you needed to, whatever it was that you were supposed to do, you needed to get it out to those that would listen, I guess. And then you realize that you had to go through all these obstacles in this journey, but based on your body, based on your say your gender, your sex, your whatever, you know how it'd be tough. It wasn't like you were put on this earth, here's your mission, go out and do it. It was more or less you had to figure out how to do it, and then you went against the culture and the mores in a different people wanted you to be a certain way and do a
Right,
certain thing.
exactly. So
And
when I was very young, I used to see beings stand around my
Mhm.
bed and watch me fall asleep
Oh.
every night. I always heard people talking in my house when I was a kid growing up.
Mhm.
And I had one vision for myself as what I wanted to be when I was growing up. And then if I was veering off, things would happen to put me on different paths.
Mhm.
And I'm the type that can manifest things. Okay. As an example, when I was in New York and
Mhm.
I opened up a new business on a Monday, I had a business meeting with all the staff that day. We opened up and I said, we need business. We have to do marketing. I said, we've got to get on TV. So I said, let's all hold hands and just, let's get on TV. Let's make this energy happen. The
Mhm.
next day, I got a phone call from, I don't remember what network it was, but they put us on Regis and Kathy Lee. And we were on that show
Wow.
for an hour I had a skincare business and a day spa for massages and facials. So they put us on the show for Mother's Day, which was 2 days later. So
Oh
for
wow.
a brand new business to get that, that's a
Oh
really
yeah.
good start for a new business. So I manifested that, and I was able to do stuff like that throughout my entire life. So I think that's the psychic in me, the psychic abilities to be able to do that, but with their guidance and their help, you know? Or
Yeah.
as another example, when I first moved to New York, when I was struggling and I had no money, I would say to myself, I need money. And
Mhm.
I would take a cab somewhere and he would stop on this corner to let me out. And I knew that was not where I was supposed to get out. I said, not this corner, next corner. And he would drive me to the next corner. I would open the door. And this really happened.
Mhm.
And there was five $20 bills on the street as soon as I opened the door, just like it was presented to me.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So I manifest stuff that way. Always did my
Wow.
whole life. The books, I manifested the publisher because she
Mhm.
was really the second person that I sent it to. And that's unheard
That's
of.
incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And
Yeah.
it's funny that you've actually taken being a psychic to a more tangible level than most people who come out and say that they're psychic. I think most people that have the psychic ability um, are kind of like it's like I can get on a horse, but I don't know what to do.
Well, I
How?
never knew what to do either
Yeah.
until Wallace showed me what to do.
Hmm.
Now I know what to do. As an example, as I'm talking to you, they're
Hmm.
telling me things. You're allowed to say this, you're allowed to say that, because there's certain
Oh,
things that we're working on that I can't tell you.
okay.
So what the multidimensional being, we're calling
Hmm.
him,
Okay.
came in and he wants me to tell you something.
Okay. What does he want to share?
He's from Hawaii originally. And I'll ask him
Aloha.
exactly. He said, tell her aloha.
Mhm.
Let her know I am an ancestor from Hawaii that has lived over 3,000 years
Wow.
ago. And I was a warrior in the island that is now the big island of Hawaii. And now I am going to be my, yes, my new guardian angel. That's right. And I am going to be moving to Hawaii next year. That's right. I am going to be moving to Hawaii next year.
Is
He's telling me I'm going to live on the big island of Hawaii next year because I want you to open hold on a second.
no, take your time.
He's saying a word in Hawaiian and I can't understand it. He wants me to open something there. Let me ask the other one. Hold on 1 minute. I'm
Mhm.
sorry.
No, no, go, please.
Clinic that will help people heal their souls. So you will have a clinic for natural crystals from the volcano,
Hmm.
sort of like from the book. So what you will have there will be a new facility for people and the ancestors of healing. The ancestors of the big island of Hawaii will heal people at your facility, is what he is saying. Thank you and goodbye. So that's interesting. So they're telling me that I'm going to move to Hawaii next year, the
Wow.
big island of Hawaii, and open up a facility for ancestors of Hawaii to
Mhm.
heal people.
That's incredible. So,
That's
so now, so
I
now,
never, and he's going to be the new guardian angel.
wow.
So that means this one's leaving. Okay, I'll get back to that.
Oh,
So there we. So that's how it works.
yeah.
that's how
Wow.
it. That's how it works. I have
I,
this one talking to me, and then I could check with that one.
yeah. I wonder if I have a role in any of this that they would look at me and say, no, well, maybe she's a good person. Could you ask them that? Lori wants to be a part of this.
Let me see. No, Laura, you're not going to be a part of what Larry is doing in Hawaii, but you have something new that's happening, and that's your podcast. Now, what we want you to do with your podcast is this. I know that you're not very religious, but spreading the word of God is something that we'd like for you to do. It doesn't mean you have to be a preacher or anything like that. But if you talk about angels and angel work, that's something that's very nice, and God will always like that. So, spreading the word of God is something that's wonderful, and you have the means to do that because you'll have a public forum. So, will you do that for us, Lori? Will you spread the word of God? And I am an angel. Thank you and goodbye.
I would say yes. I would say, I guess I just believe in, I do believe in God. I am not religious. They're right. I guess growing up in Catholicism and seeing that there are all these other, um, I do strongly believe in God. I mean, I do believe that there is a spirit up there. I just don't believe in the hierarchy of Christianity. I just think that too many people are hurt by it.
Right.
I believe in kindness and love, which I believe comes from God. I believe that God is love. It's, you know, I think I'm ahead of all the doctrine that's out there. And I
I,
guess
I think it would be interesting to find out if you're going to be contacted by people that channel angels.
oh, I want to say this is that I have experience with angels.
Oh, well, there it is.
Yeah, I mean, it happened about 7, 8 times. And
Okay.
the reason I asked if they were tall is that they would present themselves to me like a snapshot in my mind.
Right.
And there were always about 3 of them together, and they were always um, or 3 or 5. It always seemed to be those numbers, and they were always really tall. They were like 7 feet. They were really strong, very
Yeah.
muscular, and um, and they were always there to escort people that were getting ready to leave Earth to go to the next realm.
Right.
So,
Right.
I mean, that seemed to be the ones that I kept meeting where they had a job to do. And about the third or fourth time I experienced it, I was like, of course, I always felt like I was put into under a warm blanket of love. It just felt so warm. And I knew what was happening. I knew that the person who I was in front of was transitioning, but it was so beautiful and just so full of love that
Yeah.
I knew um, it was just so, yeah, beautiful and
Right.
loving. And and the fact that when you leave this realm, you don't leave alone. No one wants you. God doesn't want you to be alone.
Right.
And so, I mean, I do experience that. And often when I go outside, if I'm in someone's house, and it was always funny because the way it happened, I was actually selling insurance. And I go knocking on doors and that whole thing. I was soliciting. And but when I went into certain places and this happened to me, all of a sudden I knew that I was in there for a completely different reason. It was like, Lori, you are not selling anything. You are here because God wants you to be here. Although
Right.
I try not to think of that 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 being as God, because I think God is a human word that really doesn't express what's the universe, or there's just so many different words, and I think we're so tied to our words that
Yes.
it's very
Mhm.
difficult. And I don't, um, I really wanted to come under the context of love and kindness. I guess I'd be more like down the road of Dalai Lama or something. But
Which
if
is in my new book.
what's that?
Dalai Lama's in my new book.
Wow. And I mean, if that is what your angel was talking about as being what they want me to share, I am 150 million% behind it.
Yeah.
But if it's something that you want me to start talking about Jesus and then isolate
No,
him,
no,
yeah, then you're talking to the wrong person, because
no, it's not.
that's not me.
Listen, let me ask him something really quick.
Okay.
Religion is not about Jesus Christ. Jesus
Hmm.
Christ was a person like you
Right.
and me,
Mm-hmm.
and now he's dead,
Mm-hmm.
and now he's in heaven. Okay. That's
Mm-hmm.
fine for him, but now we're here. Okay. So we don't need to live for him. If indeed he did die for our sins or whatever that was, okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's great, but that's over.
Mm-hmm.
However, there still is a higher power, and
Yes.
that's who we need to deal with,
Yeah.
not Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, and I do believe that he was important. I just
Yeah,
think that over the centuries, people have changed the story,
absolutely.
and most of it they've changed it for their own gain,
Their
their
own
own
purpose.
benefit. Yeah, and when that comes into play, it's not the same. It's got to be something that comes, uh, the love that you feel, that you want to be generous, that you want to be
Yeah.
loving
Right.
and caring, like caring for the people who've lost everything on Maui,
Yes.
caring
Yeah.
about, the people in the Ukraine that, and, desperately trying to get us all to come together to do what
Yeah.
they want you to do on the Big Island, is to heal.
That's right. And
Because,
that's what I'll do if they want me to go there.
mhm.
And um, there's so many other people in the Bible that did just as much as Jesus.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, look
yeah.
what Noah did.
Oh yeah,
He repopulated the entire planet, supposedly. So why aren't we
absolutely.
worshiping him?
Yeah, because
Right.
yeah,
He's the father of everyone, if that's the case.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So, you could look
Yeah.
into these stories in the Bible and think of them as stories, or you could think of them as whatever you want to take home from them is what you take home, and that's good for you.
Hmm.
But for me, and for what I hear, I live by what I know and what I hear direct from the mouth. And that's it,
That's
you know?
absolutely.
So they're not telling you anything about Jesus. They're not telling you to go and be a preacher. They're
Yeah.
just telling you because this one's an angel. So he's
Hmm.
like, you know what? Spread the word of angels. It's so nice because there is a God
Oh
and
yeah.
there's one God. And
Hmm.
to spread that word and to plant those seeds is
Hmm.
nice.
Yeah. 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 And I do believe in angels. I mean, I do believe that they're definitely, they're probably
Right.
the
And that's
ones.
interesting because he didn't say go talk about prophets,
Hmm.
right? Because he knows about you and angels. So he picked the thing that he knows or she knows that
Uh-huh.
what you believe in and what
Oh
you
yeah.
cherish.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's just a nicest thought to think that the universe cares so deeply about not just us, but about our planet. And in many ways, how he takes us, and they use us to. I mean, apparently, when I walked into the one house, and it was a woman I met a year earlier, and she had cancer, and I hadn't been to her house in a long time. And then when I walked in, I thought I was talking to the woman I talked to a year ago, and it turned out that I did not. And I was in this house, and I said, "Oh, you think you're waiting for so and so?" So the woman comes around the corner, and I could tell at that point, Lori, you're here for a completely different reason, Um, and the biggest issue that she had going on was that she was desperately upset and afraid to leave her husband. And I realized at that point it was my place to sit down and telepathically talk to her about that this love that we have is seamless. You're not
Right.
you you know you're not leaving us. you know, when we need you, you will be there. And
Hmm.
when you need them, I mean, it's not like it ends. Just it's not an end. It's a continuum.
Right.
And and I'll tell you though, it was so funny because I was I was a fish out of water when I was there because there were these women and nurses coming in, and her husband was there, and you know it was just kind of this was really happening, and her but she knew me, and she had that serene smile on her face, and then I'm sitting in front of her, directly in front of her in the stool, and I'm reaching for her hands, and she's reaching for mine, and that's when we were talking, and
Right.
and then I got up and I kissed her on top of the head. It was just pure, the energy, it was all energy. It was all the pureness of the energy of, of love. And
Yeah.
then her husband came in and said, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to have to ask you to leave. And, you know, and I was like, totally fine. I mean, I knew I was not, I was supposed to be there and I had a reason to be there. And when it was time to go, it was my time to go. And then I walked out the door and the air was cold and it hit me in the face. And I thought, I hope you're happy.
Right.
Because, and I thank, you know, I thank the universe, the main being up there for giving me those opportunities to be able to experience that, you know,
Yeah.
because I think
Right.
that's where I can be of help. But I just think that again, we're on a mission,
We
you
are.
you know. And you had asked me about asking 3 questions. Do you remember that? I
Oh
don't
yeah.
know. But you told me that the context, it couldn't be about them, about their, I'm trying to think of what.
Yeah. It has to only be about you, but let me, because that's what that was with Wallace, but he's in the background now because
Hmm.
I'm with these. Let me see if they'll still do it.
Hmm.
He said he'll do it for you if you'll ask one, please. One question about yourself, but for the future.
Oh, okay. That was true.
Yeah, because the 3 question thing was Wallace, but now Wallace is gone.
Uh-huh.
He's like he's on the back burner because now I have these two.
Hmm.
Because he was
Well,
more of a mentor teacher for the book. Now
oh,
that's
okay.
done. So now that that's done, these two, or the one
Mhm.
did the first 2 books, these 2 books, the new ones, and
Mhm.
now this one apparently is taking me to Hawaii. So
Oh,
they
yeah,
each
yeah.
have their own purpose for me in
Hmm.
advancement, is what I'm learning.
Wow, wow.
Yeah,
And they're going to help you with the logistics of getting there. It's
everything,
wow, that's
everything.
amazing. That's
Hmm.
amazing. Wow,
Yeah. So it's
that
let's
is to
see
me
if it
is
happens.
incredible.
Let's
Yeah,
see if it happens.
well, you know, I think I won't be surprised, believe me.
Me
Um,
too.
yeah, I guess well, I was wanting to know about my, I guess this is not about me, or maybe it is about me because it's about my relationship with
But well, you
my,
can't ask about a certain person because if that person's not there, that's an invasion of privacy.
okay. So if I wanted, let me see how I could frame it then. Uh,
So
so,
what she can say is this: Am I in the correct relationship? Not am I in a relation? Am I in the relationship with so and so? You can't like mention
okay.
the person's name. You can't make it about that person, but you can say,
Mhm.
"Am I in the relationship that I'm meant to be in?" Something like that.
Okay. All right. Well,
You
can
sure you
I?
want that on a public forum?
Okay. Well, maybe the question that I would have is, um, those who are now in the realm of, they've passed on, um, are they all pleased with the way I've managed my life over the past year, especially over the past year?
They're going to speak through me and answer
Okay.
your question. So this will sound like my voice, but it's them talking, the guardian angel. Hello, I am Larry's guardian angel. I'm going to answer this question for you. What happens is this: when people die, they go to a different realm. When I say different realm, I mean heaven, or I mean another realm that is something like heaven. I don't mean a realm in between of purgatory or hell, because hell does not exist. What exists is heaven, or another name for it, because there's many different realms, and people get to choose which realm they go to after they die. So they get to go to heaven as we know it, or another different place, and they have their choice. So when they get to go there, they create their own existence. And what happens when they create their own existence, and I'm so sorry to tell you this, Laurie, but they forget their living lives. And this is true. Now, a lot of the people do not go to the realms yet. They wait until everyone they know has died. And they wait and they come and they wait for that person to die. And that's when they go to that person's deathbed to greet them and bring them onto the other side. Now, what happens when the person is waiting to go to the realm? Nothing. They live just like normal, because that in itself is another realm, just like the earthly realm, except their body is different, their energy. Okay. So when they show up to take you to the other realm, they'll appear as themselves, but translucent. Now, when they go to the realm of heaven or the other realms that they choose to go to, they do forget their past life. And then they start their new life in the new realm, but not as a baby, as themselves. And they go forward, but they are okay with that because they choose to start at a point that they choose. Maybe they want to choose from a teenager or whatever, but they start their life over again, not with the people that they knew before. They just start again. It's hard to explain, but it's done with energy, and they build the life around them. They're not in their own little bubble of a world. They're in a whole new world. The world itself has many different dimensions, and this is true. So what happens is this: if you can imagine the Earth as a globe, and then take many, many more globes that are transparent and put them all together on top of each other in the same space. That's how it is. So that's where all the dimensions are. And like Lawrence was saying, they are not a doorway, they're horizontal. That's how you get in. So I called him Lawrence. We call him Lawrence by his real name, but everyone knows him as Larry. So I said Larry earlier, but I always call him Lawrence. So I hope that answers your question. The answer is no. They do not know what's been happening with you because they are so happy where they are. They literally forget that they were ever alive. I'm sorry to say.
That's okay.
And that's it.
Wow, that's amazing.
That is amazing. They start a new life. But I heard him. So what he's saying is they don't go automatically. They have the choice to stand around and wait. So when I die, like my mother will be there.
Yeah, yeah.
When they decide, okay, there's no one else I'm waiting for, then they go.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
That is interesting.
Do they all go together at that point?
Let me ask again. A little bit more. So what happens is this: if they are still in the in-between place, not like a purgatory. If they
Mhm.
are waiting for everyone, it's just like the regular earth. They have houses and they have cars and they walk around, but they are energy.
Mhm.
And it's just like the regular earth. Have you ever heard of a haunted house? Well, that's them. But they're not there haunting it and scaring people. They just go in and they lay in the bed and they go to sleep and they wait and they wait and they wait and they watch and they watch and they watch. And then when the last person is dead that they are waiting for, they can go together, or
Wow.
they go as a group, or they go alone. Everyone makes their own choice. Now, what happens if two people are there, husband and wife? Well, they're not married anymore.
Mhm.
Each person is separate on their own. And even a mother and a son, or a mother and a daughter, you're not mother and son anymore. And you're not even yourself anymore. Larry was very sad when he knew that his mother was no longer Carol, that she
Mhm.
became someone else in the realm that she chose. And that's it.
Well, what makes me happy is that to know that it's a place of um, again, they're surrounded by love. I
I
mean,
love of their own choosing,
hmm
of their own
yeah,
choosing, like they choose their life. I think that's really nice.
yeah, yeah, I do
Really
too.
nice. But
Yeah.
then it raises the question, like about the ancestors. How many thousands of years ago this guy said he was from
hmm
Hawaii?
3,000.
Like 3,000 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time. So I think that's a cultural thing. And then he's an angel because he
hmm
said, I'm going to be your guardian angel now. So that must be like his choice to stay
hmm
and to help people, because they tell me that because I'm a psychic medium, that after I die, I become a spirit guide, but spirit guides are really guardian angels.
hmm
And I kind of explain that in the book I just finished. So
Oh,
that's going to be
interesting.
me when I die, if I choose that. Or I could
hmm
go to a realm and do what I want.
I like the idea of being a guardian angel.
Me too. I
Yeah,
do too, because you
yeah,
get to see the world and all that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And you get to help guide those who are receptive to
Yes.
that kind of guidance.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that would be really nice.
yeah, yeah. Because
Wow. I'm going to live in Hawaii.
yeah, really. Yeah, it
Not
may be,
Maui.
yeah, well, but then again, maybe there'd be something that you can provide to help those in Maui in that
Right.
town that got burnt down.
Yeah, that's a shame. I have friends there. The
Um,
kids' school's burnt down and everything.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I had a
yeah.
friend that grew up in Oahu.
Mm,
I knew her over at RAF Bentwaters when I had that UFO experience and whatnot. And yeah, then one day I decided to take what they call a plane hop from, I was now stationed in Las Vegas. So I took a plane hop.
oh,
It's a Air Force people could hitchhike, I guess, just get on a plane and go. And I took a plane hop all the way to Hawaii and and spent the time there. And she showed me the insider stuff that was really cool,
yeah,
that most people don't know about when you get to Hawaii. So it was really a lot of fun. This is back in 1982, but it was
right,
just
right.
really,
That's
really, really
nice.
fun. Yeah, yeah. It's funny. I got to tell you, is that your lighting keeps changing in your room. It's as if I could feel that. I could feel there are several beings with you right now
You just
behind
like
you.
physically see it.
Yeah, yeah, and there's one that's actually up near your uh, it's like the face I can see. It's up on your ceiling. Uh,
Ah, okay.
so
Well,
I
there's
kind of,
portals in this house.
yeah, yeah.
I see them. I've opened them, and there's. I have
Oh,
to be
yeah.
careful what I say because, like, people would just be like, "This man's crazy," of
No,
what I've been doing, and I never in my life would think I could do stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, here I am looking at
yeah.
portals and warriors walk through the house with full regalia.
Wow.
Here.
That, yeah. I mean, like I'll tell you, to the right side of you, it's like that. Sometimes there's this fog coming in, and then it clears up, and then
Well, the
yeah, this.
fog is them. The fog
Oh,
is them.
wow.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they're on your, I guess it would be your left side,
Yeah.
um, and then there's a light over on your right side, but it's, I think that could be a light.
Yeah. There's one up there. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was seeing movement in the ceiling when we first started this podcast, and I was getting a little bit kind of distracted. I kept looking, saying,
Wow.
"What is that? What is that face? What's?" So I was
Yeah.
thinking maybe that was Wallace. I don't know, but I guess
Okay.
Wallace has left the building. I guess I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you the funny thing about Wallace. So after I finished the book
Hmm.
and he told me he was leaving and he introduced me to the new one, it was very emotional, right? So that
Yeah.
was fine. The book was done. But then the book got published. And the minute I got the contracts, I signed in to the guardian angel. And instead of me saying, "Hello, guardian angel," I said, "Hello, Wallace." I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I must have did that out of habit." And he
Hmm.
said, "No, it's me, Wallace. I'm here. I came back
Wow.
to congratulate you." So my inner whatever automatically knew it was Wallace was there.
Wow.
Isn't that weird? And he came back to congratulate me on signing the contract.
Yeah.
We did it. We worked on it for a while. You know, I worked
Mhm.
with you for 2 years, getting you to be a psychic. We wrote the book together, and now here we are. We did it. I promised you you'd get
Mhm.
published, and you did. And that was it. And I haven't heard from him since.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
fascinating.
isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So if you could tell me again the names of your books, the one
Yeah,
that's
the one that just got the publisher. It'll be out very soon. Is called
okay,
Whispers from Wallace, and the teachings of a spirit guide mentor.
okay.
And then the two that I wrote is a series, and that one is a fiction, but it's really the truth.
Hmm.
And those are called Adrian Stone Apprentice Spirit Guide.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
I like the name.
Yeah.
Oh, I will definitely make sure that I put a lot of the information that you shared with me about the books in there's we have a little area where we can write a few things
And
on
psychic
YouTube.
readings is larrycostapsychic.com.
Okay, that's wonderful. And I really think that I thank you and I thank the guardian angel who shared
Yeah.
your thoughts and helped explain what's going on, out there in the other realms. And yeah,
I
I just truly wish we had a better vocabulary when we describe a lot of
know.
what we're feeling or seeing, and you know, because I guess in a way I don't want to be pigeonholed into something like, you know, when we say, like I look at my dog and I say, I see God right there, backwards dog.
Right, right, right.
But it's love. It's
Yeah.
what I'm seeing, and that to me is um, what really I think drives what we need to be doing to make this place, to make it a better place, to, you know, And I think that's sounds like that's your next purpose in Hawaii.
I think so. I think so.
This is going to be
Wow.
fascinating. Well, Larry, I got to tell you, we have got to do this again.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I think there's so much more to share, and actually, what we could do is when the book actually comes out, or whichever one, and oh, will it be on Amazon?
oh yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Amazon, Barnes and Noble, yeah.
okay, great, great, because I want to make sure people have the opportunity to read it and get to know you, because you are an amazing person, and
Very
I
much.
think the powers to be, your destiny is, I guess they chose you and they chose your destiny. So they're saying, yeah, Larry, Lawrence, you've got a lot of things to do.
Right.
We're going to keep you busy. Um,
Yeah.
and thank you, Kevin Banks, for
Yeah,
introducing
Kevin. Isn't
Larry
that
to
great?
me. Oh
Isn't
yeah,
that
yeah.
wild? That is so amazing.
It really is. It really is,
Yeah,
because apparently, again, the guardian angel and the other people know the path, the journey that I'm on, and it's a lot more complicated than just talking about um, the Rendlesham UFO sighting that I witnessed, even
right,
though
right.
it's definitely a part of me, but it's so much more, and this is an important layer to my journey. And I so appreciate you. And this was fun.
Yeah,
We're going to do this again.
yeah,
Well,
absolutely. Thank you so
well,
much.
I thank you, and I will be talking to you soon.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Take care,
Bye
Lori. Thank
bye.
you.
Take bye
Bye-bye.
bye.